The Dallas Mavericks were held to an uncharacteristically poor offensive display in Game 1 of the NBA Finals in their 107-89 loss against the Boston Celtics. Luka Doncic finished with 30 points but only had 1 assist. Dallas had 9 assists as a team. Irving scored only 12 points. There's a lot to get into, so let's dive into it. With the Celtics cross-matching by having Jason Tatum guard Daniel Gafford, the Mavericks dumped the ball to him in the post to start the game. Al Horford helped off of Derrick Jones Jr. from the weak side, creating an open pass for Gafford to make. Jones knocked down this jumper, but it was one of few makes from role players for Dallas. Boston guarded straight up often without trying to double Doncic. They trusted their on-ball defenders like Jaylen Brown to hold their own. Doncic took this opportunity to work him past the nail beyond using a one-legged fadeaway that he hit. The Celtics lived with switching against screens often. Doncic draws Al Horford on this play after Gafford screens, but notice Luka's footwork. He drives left and has to play off 2 at an awkward angle with Gafford battling with Brown in the paint. The floater is missed, but Gafford gained rebounding positioning against the mismatch to complete the putback. Pushing the pace is important against Boston, and Luka does it by making a throw-ahead pass to P.J. Washington, who aggressively attacks the rim for a dunk. Doncic tried to bring Horford into the action with Jones setting a screen, but Brown blew up this play by getting skinny fighting over the screen, then getting a hand on the ball to rip it loose. The Mavericks play out of a horn set on this possession to get into a handoff for Irving. Boston was intentional about having Holiday lunge on the catch to turn Irving downhill. As Irving drove, the Celtics opted to veer switch, making Horford responsible for handling Irving. The angle wasn't there for a good shot, so Irving took a tough floater with Horford pressuring and missed. The Celtics veer switched with Horford again after Doncic rejected Jones' screen with a spin. He got into a step-back jumper by getting into a between-the-legs dribble with his back foot planted to maintain balance, but he missed the shot. Irving was aggressive attacking in transition on this play, and despite drawing 2 defenders after getting into short range, he pulled up and hit a pull-up over Horford's contest. Irving was the focus of what was supposed to be a zoom action, but with Holiday trying to go under the off-ball screen by Jones, Irving made the read and treated it as a flare. Holiday fell to the floor, creating a wide-open pull-up jumper that he hit. This was a remarkable scoring display from Doncic. He brought up Lively to screen to get Tatum brought up, then brought up Washington to screen with the idea that Porzingis would hedge. Doncic split both defenders to attack open space. Derek White made a well-timed low-man rotation to disrupt Doncic, but he double-clutched the ball and somehow finished on the way down against 3 defenders. In this action, Irving received a screen from Jones, but it has limitations against Boston's defense. Holiday forces Irving left in ice coverage, and Porzingis is in a drop while they leave Jones wide open on the pop. Porzingis gets out on the shot, but it's one they are willing to give up. The Celtics tried to keep Porzingis in drop coverage when it made sense against Doncic in order to keep him in a position to protect the paint. He stepped up and engaged Luka long enough to recover back to Jones on the roll, but Doncic's pace allowed Jones to get behind him and flash to the other block for the pass. White made a tremendous read and launched toward Jones to protect the right side of the rim, which left a reverse finish against a rim protector as Jones's only option, and he missed it. Continuing to be aggressive, looking to shoot, paid off for Doncic. He brought Porzingis into the action again with Washington screening, then dribbled wide to the right wing and used a hesitation dribble while keeping his back foot planted to set up the step-back three-pointer. This time, he knocked it down despite Porzingis pressing the release. Doncic attacked Sam Hauser on this play, but he did an effective job of holding his own and taking the body contact to rip the ball loose. The goal was to deny the drive to space on the outside lane going right anyway, so he was in a position to make a play on the ball on the spin move. There were times when role players were trying to be aggressive attacking in transition. Despite Porzingis being in position to protect the rim, Washington tried finishing through him and missed. Doncic brought Hauser into the action using a guard-to-guard screen from Green. He attacked left aggressively, then launched into a step-back three with the paint loaded but missed the shot. It's a look that he'll certainly take. Notice the matchups on this possession despite the Mavericks having Lively and Kleber on the court. Porzingis is pre-switched onto Green knowing a screen is coming while Tatum is on Lively and Hauser is on Kleber. They are unconcerned about Lively or Kleber creating anything for themselves. Jaylen Brown fights over Green's screen while Porzingis stays attached to Doncic as the big defender, leaving Green open on the pop. White guarded two with one on the back end well, making Green turn down the three-point attempt and drive into an awkward floater that he missed. The ball landed to Doncic after a tap out and he missed a corner three. Another instance of a role player attacking in transition without an advantage. Hardy challenges Brown on a drive and takes a tough floater and misses, then the ball ends up out of bounds. Hardy ran pick and roll with Lively on this play, with Porzingis anchoring the defense as the big defender. He got rounded off driving left and took a pressured left-handed finish and got blocked. Now it's Irving using a screen from Kleba, and the Celtics veer switch this sequence. Irving has an isolation opportunity against Hauser in the corner and goes between the legs with the back foot planted to get into the jumper but hits the side of the backboard on the shot. These empty possessions were really adding up. This showed how well Porzingis was moving despite his injury return. He effectively maintained positioning to account for Gafford on the roll out of this side ball screen while being able to still step up and block Irving on a pull-up jumper. Hardy screens for Irving and Pritchard switches, getting Holiday off of Irving, but Holiday stays around the nail area to provide help in case Irving tries to attack. Kyrie reads this and passes to Hardy on the wing for the quick catch-and-shoot attempt, but he misses the shot. Even after a steal, the Mavericks couldn't create an advantage during this drought. Green tried aggressively to dunk on the break, knowing he'd need to bring force against Porzingis, but was blocked instead. The Mavericks used a flare screen to get Horford switched onto Irving, then Doncic passed it to him to attack. Horford was shading him to his left, and with the shot clock winding down, Irving had to make a play and drove it, but ended up with a tough left-handed floater that he missed. Irving fired back by attacking on a corner isolation after an inbounds pass. He used a fake and a jab step to test Hauser's approach, but also to have Holiday release from flooding the strong side to create a window to drive. Holiday turned his back to help handle Gafford, freeing up Irving to get deep on the drive for a left-hand floater playing off two. An early screen got Horford switched onto Doncic. He used a hesitation dribble to set up a between-the-legs crossover to get downhill going to his right. The Celtics were focused on helping, but Gafford took advantage of the mismatch by sealing off the low man responsible for helping the helper. This allowed Luka to get downhill, play off 2 feet, then loft the ball to him for a catch and finish. With a smaller defender cross-matched onto Washington often, the Mavericks tried to exploit that at times by giving him the ball with space to attack. He gets a throw-ahead pass and takes Hauser in the post before using a drop step to create a foul. While running the second unit, Kyrie tried to create some momentum with a transition pull-up but missed the contested shot. Typically, he's highly efficient on these shots, but this was not his night. Irving stayed aggressive as the initiator by trying to turn the corner on a drive middle against Pritchard. This was another uncharacteristic miss for Kyrie. He used a veer step to get to the left side of the rim but missed the finish off the glass. Posting up might be a challenge as something to live with against the Celtics, but when there's a mismatch early in the clock for Doncic, it's smart to hunt it. Here he gets a touch against Pritchard and makes an inside move knowing the double is coming and draws a foul in the process. This play is a great example of the challenges of attacking the Celtics when Porzingis is cross-matched onto a weak shooter and can stay in the paint. He leaves Jones wide open in the corner as the low defender as Doncic gets Horford switched onto him and uses the body positioning of the defender to attack open space going right. Lively filled the dunker spot after slipping the screen. Brown went to account for Jones as Luka drove, forcing Porzingis to step up and get vertical. With Porzingis being 7'3", the late lob was deterred, resulting in a drop-off pass that got broken up by Porzingis' body making contact with the ball. A better rhythm needs to be established on the exchange. Doncic uses a screen from Washington with Porzingis cross-matched, making him the big defender in the action. Boston just leaves Washington wide open on the pop to neutralize Doncic as a scorer on the drive, and Washington misses the jumper. Dallas needs role players to hit open shots in this series. Boston switching and guarding straight up puts Doncic in a position to settle for step-back jumpers at times. He does that here with Dallas needing to urgently score to get back into the game, but misses the attempt. Irving was back in the game at this point with Doncic, and this was a great example of engaging Jones as an off-ball screen to create an advantage for him on the catch. After setting the pin down in a zoom action for Irving, he spaced back out to the corner, forcing Holiday to go from overloading and help against Irving to accounting for Jones on the catch. This was a drive with momentum off the catch against a smaller guard for Jones to finish with his dominant hand. Tatum switched onto Doncic during this zoom action, which created a drive right for Doncic with the action being on the left side of the floor. Kleba did his best to seal off Brown to keep the paint open, but Doncic simply uncharacteristically missed the right-hand finish attempt. The Celtics' aggressive ball pressure was a problem at times in this game. Brown ripped Doncic and got a breakaway scoring chance. There was disconnect between Kleber and Irving in multiple actions resulting in turnovers. Here the timing is off and Kleber gets called for an offensive foul on a handoff. Then Irving thought Kleber would be in a different spot on the floor after Boston used a show and recover coverage approach to keep Holiday as the defender guarding Irving. The ball sailed out of bounds on the pass. The Mavs are playing 5 out in this stretch with Kleber at the 5. Doncic gets a screen from Washington at half court, creating a chance for him to blow by Tatum on the switch for a scoop finish with his right hand. Doncic gets an isolation touch on the left wing against Brown and is aggressive with Dallas playing 5 out. He uses a series of jab steps to open up the drive right, with Brown playing for the possible step-back 3. Luka uses a stride stop in the paint to set up a fake turnaround jumper, but Brown doesn't react. So Doncic passes out to Green, who gets it to Washington late in the clock and misses the open above the break 3-pointer. After Irving saved the ball from going out, Doncic attacked aggressively again. He gets as deep as he can on the drive before using a quick back-down dribble against Holiday to create separation. He uses a one-legged jumper and gets it to fall. With another 5-out possession, Doncic draws Porzingis on a switch and uses a between-the-legs dribble into a hesitation before attacking downhill going right. He draws 2 defenders deep, setting up a high-arching pass to Washington for the catch and finish after the low defender had recovered back to the weak side. With Boston showing help near the nail area, it's vital for the wing spacer to be ready to shoot or make a play against a closeout. Irving waits for the help to load up, then passes to Kleber to drive on the catch before using his size to his advantage by finishing through contact. Doncic bails out the Mavericks on a stalled-out possession here by attacking the paint and making a tough jumper. He's getting into triple threat with 5 seconds left on the shot clock and stutter steps on the drive to get to the top of the paint off 2 feet before taking the pull-up jumper. Another tough play from Doncic. He brings up Porzingis into the action and forces the switch after snaking into the gap and retreating to the left wing using the step back before shooting the 3-pointer. He hits and has momentum heading into halftime. Dallas did a better job of moving around Doncic in the half court for favorable touches. They start out in a horns flare set to get him the ball while engaging 3 other players in the action. Gafford sets a high ball screen and gets Tatum switched onto Doncic, while Jones sets a flare screen for Irving, then comes up to screen for Doncic. Tatum denies the switch on Jones's screen. It was pretty easy for him to attack Tatum in space throughout this game when he had the chances to do so. He brings him out to the right wing after denying the switch and goes between the legs into a behind-the-back dribble and caps it off with a hesitation before using his first step to get by Tatum, who wasn't deliberate in his lateral movement quickly enough. Watch Gafford here. He fights with Brown as Luka drives to create a clean enough lane to play off 2 and finish with his right hand. This possession gets saved by Gafford's effort on the offensive glass against a cross match like Tatum. Doncic passes out of the initial drive, then the ball finds Irving, who airballs a tightly contested pull-up against Holiday. Tatum watched the shot go up, and Gafford took advantage. The Mavericks play out of a delay set to get the ball to Doncic. Brown is aggressive, trying to deny Doncic the ball and against switches. The drive left is giving up after Doncic's quick between-the-legs dribble. The key here for Boston was Holiday stunting in time to make Luka pick the ball up early and not be able to play off 2 feet deep on the drive, resulting in a tougher finish that he missed. With Boston being aggressive with early ball pressure consistently, Irving used his quickness to get by Holiday and get to a stop off 2 for a floater and made it. Dallas needs more of this in Game 2. Great read from Doncic, but tough outcome. Boston is slow to get back on defense, so Luka sees Gafford diving to the rim, draws Horford as the low defender, freeing up Washington in the weak side corner. 2 defenders commit to running out on him, so the pass is made to Irving, who gets a completely wide open catch and shoot 3-pointer, but misses the shot. Irving pushed the pace again and tried to make a play, but this time, his short-range pull-up was missed. The Celtics switch with Horford against Doncic again, and this time Doncic tries to take the step back going to his right and gets blocked since it's a tougher direction to take that shot. Horford was on balance, lunging to contest as he was still getting into his approach. Boston continued to switch, and this time Irving tried to attack downhill but dribbled the ball off his foot against White. Irving finally found a situation to create an advantage. He took Horford into the corner after a switch. He got very low to turn the corner and came to a stop to change his pace before an in-and-out dribble to shift Horford, freeing up the baseline drive for a wide-open finish off 2. Washington made a play here against the smaller defender by attacking in transition, using a between-the-legs dribble to go left for a layup, finishing through contact. Watch this possession closely. Doncic figured out methods to attack the switch effectively. He has the drive right against Horford and works to cut him off early before disengaging with contact to create separation for the right-hand scoop finish. Here the Mavericks dump the ball to Washington to hunt the smaller defender in the post. He uses 2 dribbles before a drop step and has the hook rim out, but they stay aggressive on the offensive glass and come up with a foul. Boston had a breakdown regarding who was taking Lively. Doncic read this and used the ball screen to get into a step-back 3 after pulling White on the switch with space to shoot after keeping his back foot planted. Doncic trusted Jones to make a play in semi-transition here, but with White closing tight enough to deter the shot but play the drive, he gets funneled into a crowd in the paint and gets blocked. Lively gets the rebound and finds Irving wide open on the wing, but another unfortunate miss occurs. Doncic pushed the pace early and got by Tatum with a spin move after drawing contact, then passed out of a shot against Porzingis' help rotation. The ball moved around to find Irving, who essentially received a ghost screen from Lively as he was starting to attack, resulting in a veer switch from Porzingis. Irving countered with an escape dribble going right into an acrobatic short-range pull-up and hit the shot. This was the peak of the Mavericks' comeback effort. Doncic saw Brown under the screen, and he countered by pulling up deep off the line and hit the shot. Dallas was down 8 after, but it unraveled. A series of travels killed the Mavericks' momentum. The first was by Lively after a rebound. Then Irving tried to play out of a stride stop and didn't keep his pivot foot planted after turning the corner on the catch out of a pin down, followed by Lively flipping the screen. It didn't help that Irving had a wide-open pull-up three-pointer against drop coverage against a step-up screen and missed it. This was an incredible defensive sequence from Brown. Doncic draws 2 defenders on a drive while Jones was left open on a pop. He dives to the rim as Luka drives. Browns reads it as the low man and times his jump to blow up the lob. Dallas gets the rebound. Hardaway dribbles inside the arc against a flyby, but passes out of the pull up to Jones for a catch and dunk attempt. But Brown springs back up to block him at the rim again. Doncic was pressing a bit at this point to create some necessary momentum. He forced Horford to switch by snaking the screen and immediately hunted the left wing to get to his step back and miss the shot. Dallas tried to hunt for a three-pointer again. Doncic comes off a middle pin down for a quick catch and shoot jumper but misses it. Brown was cross-matched onto Gafford here and was ready to make another big play. Irving turned the corner on a ball screen and tried to cut off Holiday on the drive to set up a favorable finish on the right side of the rim, but Brown read this and emphatically blocked the attempt, helping off the dunker spot. Boston continued to be content with rotating off of Kleba on low-man rotation. Irving counters being denied off the ball by cutting, but Horford read this and rotated over to block him on the catch. Staying active on the offensive glass is huge in this series. Kleba gets it to Irving on another uphill dribble handoff, but he takes a tough baseline jumper. Gafford is active, crashing out of the dunker spot to draw a foul. This play develops into an uphill dribble handoff involving Jones giving it to Irving. After driving under the basket, Irving makes the pocket pass to Jones, but Porzingis quickly recovers to block him at the rim. Jones got the rebound, and the ball ended up finding Washington to drive off the catch against Tatum for a finish. With Jones being left on the pop after screening for Doncic, he uses a stutter step on the drive right to create an angle to cut off Brown. This allows him to play off 2, use a fake to freeze up Brown and Porzingis before getting into the finish. Just too many instances of role players trying to attack a defense in position to pressure a transition finish. This time, Jones gets blocked attacking 3 defenders. Staying patient after drawing 2 on a drive is important for Doncic against Boston. He passes out after White comes to late double on the drive, then comes back up to get the ball back. He uses a face-up to create a drive right and navigates Tatum's help rotation with a quick back-down dribble against White before getting low and splitting both defenders to draw a foul. A handoff from Washington gets Holiday switched off Doncic. He uses a jab step going right to set up a step-back 3 going left, but misses this shot. Dallas had 3 total corner three-point attempts in Game 1, and one of them was from Doncic darting an inbounds pass, not from breaking down the defense and making a spray-out pass. Washington missed it. White is aggressive with late doubles and stabbing at the ball from behind. He does that here after Pritchard switches onto Doncic, and this results in a steal. He'll need to be careful with this. The goal seemed to be to hunt Pritchard for Doncic. White stayed attached to Irving after his screen for Doncic. Then Washington came up to screen for Luka, forcing Holiday to make the switch this time. Doncic ended up attacking left in the middle of the floor but picked up his dribble with Holiday helping initially. He faked a pass, then took a tough one-legged jumper and missed. Once again, offensive rebounding is huge for Dallas. Irving lost his balance and had to pass out of a drive. Washington attacked off the catch into a crowd for a tough floater through contact and missed, but Lively tipped it back to him, and he finished it on the second chance. Washington is being guarded by Pritchard while initiating the offense, so he attacks downhill aggressively, then draws help out of the dunker spot to create a drop-off pass. Lively catches it and completes the dunk. With Doncic spinning to reject a screen from Lively at half-court, Tatum had to switch. This created a lob chance for Doncic to hit Lively against a guard. This resulted in a foul on the catch. We'll look at one final play since the reserves got thrown into the game late. Green cut through to the weak side as Doncic was attacking Horford after a switch, keeping Holiday on the strong side to help against Luka. This created a tough floater against two defenders deep on a drive. Thank you for watching this video all the way through. If you already subscribed to my channel, thank you for the continued support. I'd appreciate it if you do subscribe if you don't already. All likes and comments on the videos help reach new people as well, so those are appreciated too. Stay tuned for more content going forward.